Hello, today I will showcase a walkthrough of the Microsoft Excel World Championship, last 32 of the morning session, called Euchre. I guess you say it like that in English. So first, before starting reading the instructions, I want you to know that this subject is really hard, and I had to do many attempts in order to figure out what to do, what were the rules, because they are not as clear as they appear to be. So I will tell you during this walkthrough what are the traps and try to show you a solution for the level 5, which might not be the optimal one, but I couldn't find a best one. So let's start. The instructions. 4 players are playing a modified version of a card game called Euchre, a total of 100 games. The game is played by 4 players with a 24 card deck. Cards from 2 to 8 are removed from the standard deck. At the beginning of the game, each player receives a hand of 5 cards. Each player's hand in each game is provided below. Euchre is a trump game, which means one of the 4 suits: spades, hearts, clubs, and diamonds. One suit is selected each game to be the trump suit. If spades is the trump suit, then the trump cards are as shown below. And here we remark something, and they talk about it after. Same color jack is a trump too. So notice that the jack of clubs, the oversuit of the same color, counts as a spade only while spade is trump. And this is tricky for the level 5. You'll see why later. If hearts were a trump, then the jack of diamonds would be a trump, so it would be counted as a heart. Because it's the other red suit, any card in the trump suit always outranks any non-trump card. So when you play a trump card, if it's the highest trump card you play during a turn, it is the one who wins. In our spades example, the 9 of spade is a better card than the ace of diamond, ignoring trump suits. When selecting the cards to play, the suits are ranked spades, hearts, clubs, and diamonds in descending order. The tables to the right shows the exact card ranks to each trump suit. So for example, if you want the rank of the ace of spade, when the trump suit is spade, it's 3. When it's heart, it's 8. When it's club, it's 8. And when it's diamond, it's 8. And as you can see for the jack of clover, when the trump suit is spade, it's 2. When it's clover, it's 1. And when it's heart and diamond, it's 18. So for the gameplay, levels 1 to 4. Player 1 begins play by leading their best card of any suit, including trumps. Player 2, 3 and 4 play their best possible cards in their hands. After a round is won, player 1 plays their best remaining card in their hand. Players 2, 3 and 4 play their best remaining cards in their hands. Then, the winner of the round is determined after all 5 rounds have been played. The hand is scored. The winner of the round is the player who played the highest ranking card. The winning player of the match is the player that has won the most rounds. The highest possible score is 5 rounds. And for the level 5, we'll talk about it later because it's way more complex than this. The bonus questions, I'll do them after dealing with level 1. But first, I name this because they will be useful to calculate the ranks. So this is the suit range. I name this range card. And I name this range rank. So for level 1, on level 1 we are learning about trump suits and how the scoring works. What is the best card in each list of cards? Remember to check the trump suit. So first we'll calculate the rank of each card with an index. We want an index in rank. For the row we want a match of this in the card range. We want an exact match. And for the column, what we want is a match of this in the suit, exact match, and like that we have the rank of this card. Then I copy paste for all of the cards. And to have the best card, what we'll do is an index in this first row. And for the column, what I'll do is a match, where I'll search the minimum rank in this, and I'll search it in the ranks with an exact match. So here it is 1. 1 is in the 5th position, and it corresponds to the Jack of Spade. Then let's copy paste that, and level 1 is done. Now for the bonus questions, let's start with bonus 1. How many questions in level 1 from game 1 to 15 include the second best card? So what we'll do here is just a little count if, and in this range we want to count the 2, which is the second best card rank. Then bonus question 2, in game 51, what is the best card that wasn't dipped? So first, what we'll do here is calculate if, it's like that. I want to calculate in game 51, so in the cards that were dealt, what we want to know is if this one is dealt or not. But for that, we'll do a count if. So now for each of these cards, we know if they are dealt or not. For the game 51, the trump suit is spade, so we'll use these ranks. So for the rank, what I'll do is if the card is not dealt, so if it's equal to 0, I want this rank, else I want nothing. Let's copy paste that. And like that, we can see that the lowest rank is the ace of diamond. Let's copy paste that. And then for bonus question 3, how many hearts cards are in games 31 to 100 in our examples on the trump suit column? So to do that easily, I'll just make a new sheet, bonus 3. And for game 31 to 100, what I'll do is copy paste all of these here. Let's do this for level 4. And last level. So now we know each card dealt for these levels, and what we have to do now is just count for each of the hearts cards how many times they appear. So let's do it for the ace of hearts. We'll do a count if in bonus 3. In all the cards dealt, I want to count how many times this one appears. I'll do that for each of the hearts cards. Like that. And I'll just do a sum of that. And here we have the bonus question 3 and all of the bonus questions. Now let's get back to the main levels. Level 2. Players decide to play the first round as a warm-up. Which player will win the first round? So what we'll do is something like that. We copy paste the formula to get the rank of the card. We'll check it. So here we don't want this card for player 1, we want this one. And as sometimes it will send an error because it won't find the rank of a blank cell, we set an if error and just send nothing if we have an error. Then let's just copy that like that. And to now, who is the winner? What I'll do is just do a little bit of VBA because it will save me space later, and the other questions take a lot of space already. So I'll do F winner, to which I give the ranks and the number of turns. I'll declare a table where I stock the ranks minimum value, maximum value, a number on the score of each of the players, so 1 to 4. And before starting anything else, I initiate this table. Then I do a loop for each of the turns, so like that. And for each turn, what I set is the minimum value. I initialize this to tab ranks line 1 column corresponding to a turn. The number will be the number of the first player, and then for the other players, what I want to check is if they have a better card than the first player. So if tab ranks equal 1, and for the column for player 2 we want 6, which is 5, the offset from player 1 to player 2, plus the number of turns. So 5 times the number of the player 2 minus 1, because we don't want an offset for player 1, to which we add the number of the turn. And if this is inferior to minimum value, then minimum value equals this, the number equals to the number of the player, and if. And then what we'll do is, for the player that has the best score, that has the best card, we'll increase his score by 1. Then what we want to do is know which player has the best score, so we'll initiate the maximum value, setting it to the score of the first player, number of first player 2, and then with another loop for each of the other players. What we'll do is check if the score of the player is better than the score of the current player. Then we set the new max value, and we set the number to the number of the player. And what we want with our function is the number of the winning player, like that. So now I give this, I say we have one turn, and we have our winner for each of these questions. Level 2 done. Level 3. Now we are playing all 5 rounds. In game 31-50, the cards are listed in the order they'll be played. What card did the winning player play in round 5? So the same way we did there, we just copy-paste that. We copy-paste the formula for the ranks, like that. And now what we want is the last card played. So what we'll do is the last card played by player 1, and we'll offset that by 5 times the number of the winner of this with 5 turns, minus 1, because for the first player we don't want an offset. And here you have level 3. Now for level 4, in games 51-70, the cards are shown in a random order. Every round, each player plays their best card. What card did the winning player play in round 5? So now what we'll have to do is to calculate the ranks and to sort them. So now I don't know for other versions, but I don't think I have a sorting function in mind. So what I'll do is doing this like that. I just set this to calculate if this is the first best card, the second, etc. And here it will be the result of the sorting. So here I have to count for this card how many cards of player 1 are equals or under this rank. So to do this, I set here the number of the player, I do this plus 1, then copy paste this here. I copy paste this here too, it will help. And I do a conCFs. So first, I want this to be equal to 1. And then I want this to be inferior or equal to that. And here we know that the rank 8 is the second best card of player 1. And now what I want is here the first card here the second card, here the third best card, etc. So in order to do that, I set a position here. This one is the first, and it's the second, etc. And here what I'll do is an index of the ranks. Here. First row. And I'll do a sum if. So the sum range will be the position. The first criteria will be that we only want a card from the first player. And the second will be that this will have to be equal to that, the turn number. Like that, we should have everything sorted. Okay. So now what we'll do is copy paste all of that here. And now first trick of the subject. Here they ask you what card did the winning player play in round 5. And here for the example, what they give you is the 10 of clover. But for player 3, the 10 of clover, which is on the 5th position, is the second best card. So it's not really the card that is played on the 5th round. So what they want to know here is not what card did the winning player play in round 5, but what is the card on the 5th spot of the winning player. And this is more accurate to what they want. So we just copy paste this formula, because this for the offset is the same thing. We want the card on the 5th position for player 1 or for another player. And for the offset, what we want is now the sorted ranks. And here is the first trick of this subject. And here you have level 4 done. Now for level 5, which is labeled hard, and for me it should be labeled very hard, but I'm not a tester. This question by itself makes the subject very long to solve, because I didn't find a very quick way and easy way to do this. This is why. In game 71 to 100, the cards are shown in a random order. Player 1 starts every round by playing their best card. The other players must play a card according to the following logic. Play the best card they have of the same suit as the player, which is not always the best card. If, for example, you have a trump card, here for the example, let's say that player 1, okay, imagine he plays his 10 of diamond. Well, for player 2, even if you have a king of hearts that is the best card you have, you'll have to play a diamond. And then you'll say, okay, so my best card is the jack of diamond. No, here's another trap. They say in the subject that when the trump suit is heart, then the jack of diamond is considered heart. If you prefer, when, for example, player 1 plays the 10 of diamond, player 3 will only play a trump card if it doesn't have any diamond card, else he will play a diamond card. And as the Jack of Diamond is a trump card, he won't play it until he can't play any other diamond card. So first they play the same symbol as player 1, and if they can't, they play a trump card. And if they don't have any trump card left, they play their best possible card. Then for the scoring, the rules change too, which makes this question very hard. If a trump is played, then the highest trump card wins the round. So trump cards are always best. And if no trump cards is played during the round, the player who played the highest card on the suit led wins the round. So even if player 1 plays a card that is ranked, for example, 20, and you have a card that is ranked 8, if it's not of the same suit, your card won't win. You either win by playing a card of the same suit, or playing a card that is a trump card. And for each of the turn, what you'll need is know which card you'll play according to a symbol of the card of player 1. So to do this, I'll do a model of this question, starting here with the row. We'll set it to 190, like that. And what I'll do is copy paste that here. And I'll change these according to the row. So I'll do an offset. I'll do an offset of this, to which I fix the row. So for the row offset, what I'll do is use that, minus 190, because for line 190 we're already on the right row, so we don't want an offset. And we don't want to change the column. Okay, I'll then copy paste that. And just in case this gets me into trouble to select, I'll just get them out by doing this. Okay. Then what I want is to sort player 1 cards, because he is the leading player and he will always play his best card. So first I'll do an index. I use the same formula as before, so I will pass the details. Okay, I have their rank. Now what I want to know is what is the number 1 card, etc. So I'll just do a simple countif because we only have the cards of player 1. And I'll use the same condition. Like that. And then for player 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'll set this to know what cards they play. And for player 1, what he'll play is an index of that, row 1. And for the column, I just do a simple sum if. And if this equals to the turn number, then I want the position. Okay. So he starts by playing his Queen of Clover, which is the best card. Then his Jack of Spade, which is his second best card. Then 10 of Clover, then 10 of Diamond, and to finish the 9 of Spade. Okay, this works. Here I have a card. Okay. And now what I want for player 2, 3, and 4. First I'll say the number of turn. I'll start with turn 1. I name this 2. I name the answer 2 here. answer. Okay. And what I do is for player 1, I want to know what card he plays. The rank is card. No, the rank I don't care. I just want to know if it's a trump card. I want the symbol, the suit of his card. And I want, what else would I want? I think I just want that, yeah. Okay, I just want that. So for the card, what I'll do is an offset of that. I don't offset the row, but the column. And I'll do an offset of that, -1. Okay. To know if it's trump card, what I'll do... okay. Indeed, I need the rank. So for the rank, I'll just use the same formula as here, but I'll just use this card. And to know if it's trump card, the trick here is to seek the rank. For example, for spade, each trump card has a rank of 7 or inferior to 7. So I just use that to know if it's a trump card or not. So if this is inferior or equal to 7, I say yes, either no, with a 0. And for the suit, I use a right on that. Okay. Now what I want to know is first the card of player 2, 3, 4, their rank. I want to know if they are trump cards or not. I want to know their suit. And I want to know if they correspond to a suit or not. And then I want their priority, and I want their calculated. Now this I will just do this here, okay. And the priority, why do I say priority and not rank? It's because, as I said before, for example, if player 1 play the 10 of diamond first, player 3 won't play the jack of diamond, he will play another card of diamond because they have the same symbol and are not trump card. So if player 1 doesn't play a trump card, the other players will play the suit that player 1 played before anything else, and if player 1 plays a trump card, then they'll just play their best card. Okay, so for the rank, for the card first I'll do this. For the rank I'll just use this. For the trump I'll just use the 2, and for the suit I'll just use this 2. Then to know if it corresponds to the suit, first I say if it's a trump card, I say 0 to that. And if it's not a trump card, then if this equals to this suit, I say yes, else 0. Okay. And for the priority, what I'll do is do the rank minus if you have to play a trump, so if it's equal to 1, then you'll do this times 200, else the trump card will just have a priority of increased 100, like that. Minus if this equals to 0, so if you have to play the symbol, then it will be this times 200 and else 0. And to that we'll add another thing, which is if on this range we count this card, so if it's superior to 0, I'll add 1000, so it won't be played anymore. Okay, then I just copy paste all of that, and with that we have the priority of each card. Then for further purpose, I add the number of the player there. Here I say what play the first player, what play the second player, what play the third player, and what plays the fourth player. So I just want the card here. So player 1, it's easy, we just set this. And for player 2, what we want is 2, 3, 4, like that. For player 2, what we want is an index of this card, first row. And for the column, what we want is again a match with a minimum with conditions. And what we want is the cards of the player 2. So the criteria will be this. Oh, I misdid that. First, the minimum range will be the priority. The criteria range will be the number of the player, like that. And with that, we have the minimum priority for the player 2, and we'll search it on the priorities with an exact match. Like that, we'll have the card of the player 2. So for the turn 1, we know what card each player will play, and if we change this, we'll have what plays the player 1 for the second turn and what they will play. Okay. But now what I want is here to have the cards of player 2, 3, 4 for each turn. So what I'll do is set a little range here. So here I write the turn number, here the number of the player. So here I'll say this plus 1, here I'll say equals to that. I copy that for the, let's see, there are 4 players, 5 turns. Okay, so I want 16 columns, if I'm right, like that. And here I want the cards played by the players. Here. And I name this played, no, turns, for further purpose, and here it's a range called played. Okay. So for example, for turn 1, I'll play this. So I want this to appear here. I'll move this a bit, like that. Oh, okay. I'll move this like that, and like that, and okay. Copy paste the width. Okay. And what I'll do here for player 2 is that I want an index on that for 1, and for the column, what I want is, let's see, for the column, we want 4 times the turn, minus 1, because we don't want to offset for the first turn. And to that, we add the number of the player, which we have already here. So now it should be okay. Like that. So now what we have to know is to have the calculated rank, to have the answer here. So we'll manually first do this. Like that. Just for this, so I can show you. Like that, turn 5, like that. So now we have the cards played by each player. So good news, we have the 10 of hearts on the 5th position. And now they don't want to know what they have, what the winning player have in his 5th place. They really want to know what is the last card of the winning player. So what we'll do now is have the rank. We'll do a bit of that. But here we'll have a calculated rank, which will be different from this. So the rank, it's not very different. We'll do the same thing as that. We'll just copy paste this for that at least. For player 1, it's a bit different, but not different for that. And for the suit, it's just if this equal 1, then it's 0, else it's 1. If it's not a trump card, it's obviously the same symbol as is the one playing it. And for the calculated rank, what we'll do is take the rank here. And first, the trump card will always win. So we'll do this times 200. And then it's the corresponding suit that wins if it's not a trump card. So it will be this times 100. We have to do this special rank in order for example, he plays a spade card. For the spade cards to be better than any other suit except the trump suit. And then with that, we can say the same way we did for our previous questions, but this time we take this as an offset and not this, or we'll have the wrong answer. We want a 0 offset of rows. And same thing as before, we'll do F winner. We'll take the calculated ranks, 5 turns, -1 because we don't want an offset for the first player, and we have it. Okay. So now what we'll do is a bit of VBA, way easier than this. Sub question 5, hoping that I did everything right, of course, or I have to do a bit of debug. So first I look for each of the rows, so from 192 to 201. Next I. Now what I'll do is for each term, so for A equals 1 to 5. Oh, next A. I have a bit of initializations to do. So here first I say range row equals I to change the row. I have to turns. I have to empty that, else it will change things. Then what I have to do for that is change NB turn. I believe it's called like that. Let's check this. NB turn, yeah. Okay. Range NB turn equals A. Then what I'll do is what? I'll copy this, which is played, in there with an offset depending on the turn number. So what I'll do is I have to say which sheet I use. So I use sheet 5, which is the one for question 5. That range G30, J30 to N30. I want an offset on that, 0 offset on rows. On columns I want 4 times the number of the turn minus 1. And the value of that will be equal to range played, that value. Okay. And then once we did each of the terms, what we'll do is range I and I equals range answer. In I because it's the column where we want the answer. And if I'm right, everything should be green. And I have some issues apparently. So now let's debug. For line 192, we'll empty all of that. And we'll see why this doesn't work. So we'll do this manually, like that. Okay. Turn 3. Copy paste that. Turn 4. Copy paste that. Turn 5. Copy paste that. Okay. What I'll do is check the priority formula because it's one of the formulas I have the most issues with. If it's equal to 1, 200, 100, minus, if it's equal to 0, it's this times 200, plus if contif this, 1000. I don't see any problem with this. Of the calculated rank, it's this minus this times 200 minus this times 100. Something seems strange to me. The problem is that I have, no, it's okay, it's 10 of spade. Okay. Though the play is cards in the right order. So first we have diamonds. He plays his best diamond, okay. Then we have clubs. He doesn't have a club, so he plays his best trump card. Okay. No problem with that either. Then again club, so he plays spade, okay. No problem with that either. Then again clubs, he plays heart, okay. Then hearts, and he plays this. So how does he win this? Why is this equal to the suit? Oh, okay. I see why. This formula is not right. I'm even surprised that I don't have more incorrect formulas, more incorrect answers. So here, what I need to know is not if this equals to that, but if this equals to an offset of this. I don't offset the row, and for the columns I offset this by this minus 1. And now this should be better, I think. Okay. Sorry, as you can see, it changed for 9 of hearts. So I just relaunch this, and everything is green. Okay. Except this, but I don't know why. It's strange. But as you can see, I have the 1200 points, so everything is okay. So as I said, the question 5 by itself is very complex because of all the rules, all of the priority calculus, all of the calculated rank we have to set, the fact that for each turn we have a different symbol and have to adapt to that. This is the solution I propose to you. It's maybe not the best one. You can check on YouTube or on social network if you find a better solution for the 5th question. The 4 questions, the 4 first levels on the bonus questions, I didn't have any problem with it, except for the tricks of the fourth question. But yeah, fifth question is very hard, so if you have suggestions to do it, don't hesitate to comment. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment too. I hope you liked this video and have a nice day. Goodbye.